Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trap Chat, Women's History Month edition. Black women working from surviving to thriving. We have another amazing guest today. One of my dear friends, a chapter soror from the University of Richmond Rural Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She got her elephant there in the background for y'all. A mommy, a wife, Jack and Jill mom. Let's see what else. New York native, Jamaican bred though. Okay, okay. I hear some folks call her Judy. I think we call her June.
You do that.
We call her June. Like the Cleavers, because for whatever reason, well, I know the reason. She just didn't go home. That's the reason, and it was okay. But my summer roommate one year, just an amazing person, professionally. A chief marketing officer in the financial services sector, and we are going to get into more of that. Patrice, hey!
Thank you for having me.
Yes. How are you today?
I'm good. It's Friday. So I'm always good on Friday.
Oh, okay. Well,
yep.
There you go. All right. So what I've been doing is, asking people to share their career journey.
Okay.
Yours spans over 20 years in various sectors, including B2C and B2B. You have had roles in brand strategy, product development, and customer experience. So can you share your career journey and then include a pivotal moment or moments where you transitioned from merely surviving to thriving?
Of course. My career journey is interesting because it's funny when I talk to people about all the things that I've done. I always get the question about whether I planned it or whether I took all of these jobs or took all of these steps, and it was completely unplanned, right? Whenever there was an opportunity that I thought was a good opportunity or that afforded me a chance to learn something new, I was like, sure, I'll do that. That sounds good. And that's kind of taken me to these careers and these companies and these jobs. But yeah, I knew that I wanted to do marketing. That's the piece that has been consistent throughout. I love marketing. For me, marketing is the study of people and why they do the things that they do. Okay. And so that is what I love about it. But the roles themselves, I've just been lucky to find things that enabled me to learn a completely new skill or to enhance a skill that I already had. And when it comes to going from surviving to thriving, I think when that happened for me it was about 7 years ago. I was working at another financial services company, and there was a woman there who she was the leader of the entire marketing organization. She just joined the company. I went to a fireside chat with her, and after the fireside chat, she came up to me and she's like, "I want to be your mentor." I was like,
"That's awesome."
Okay. And I think for me, what was good about that is I'd never really thought about asking for help, right? As a Black woman, I think we tend to think I got to do this on my own. I have to make sure that I show up as someone who is capable. And so asking for help isn't something that we do very well or that I did very well.
Okay.
And so that was a pivotal moment for me because it showed that we can't actually do this alone, right? We have to ask for help. You have to have people who mentor you and support you. And eventually this person actually ended up becoming my sponsor.
Nice.
It was the person who was talking about me behind closed doors and asking people why I didn't get certain roles. So that was for me one of the most pivotal moments, both because she proactively offered herself as a mentor, which was amazing. But for me, it was also like, oh, I guess I do kind of need help. I could benefit from someone helping me.
Yeah.
So that for me was one of the best moments. And I still talk to her today. She's still a mentor of mine up to today.
That's awesome. So I do want to skip ahead since we're talking about mentorship just a bit. I want to stay there. I mean, you just explained the role mentorship has played in your career in kind of
Yes.
catapulting you from that, survival mode, and being reluctant to ask for assistance and ask for help and ask for sponsorship, ask for some guidance in your career. But you took that. But I want to talk a little bit about mentorship programs,
Yeah.
because it sounds like that wasn't necessarily a formal set up thing. It was just another woman saying, hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to pay it forward to you, or I'm going to help you in guiding your career.
Yeah.
So how do you think mentorship programs, especially in organizations that you've had the pleasure of working in, some of them are global, large, where there's not a great deal of diversity, especially at
Yeah.
top levels. So, how can we improve these programs to better assist Black women in navigating challenging career landscapes?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I have been a part of a few mentorship programs as like a sponsor or someone who's come in to talk about my career. And the thing that I noticed about most of them is that they are focused on training, right? Which for me means that you assume that I'm not ready. Like I need to be trained to be ready for this next role in my life. And I think rather than training these mentorship programs, first they need to recognize that we are ready. Like that is not the reason why we haven't been able to advance in our careers. It's that not that we need to be trained. We are ready for those things. So what they need to be focused on is really making connections, like meaningful connections with people who want to help you advance your career. That is their purpose, is to say, you are ready for the next thing. You just haven't had the opportunity to get your foot in the door. And so that's what I'm going to do for you as a mentor. That's what those programs really need to focus on rather than, hey, I'm going to train you on this thing, or we need to talk about this thing that you could do better, because that assumes that I'm not ready for the next level.
That is an excellent point, and one I have never thought of. And being on the side that I'm on,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of there haven't been a lot of opportunities because I've been in HR, I've been in talent acquisition, so I've been the one that's been assisting
Yeah.
in filling these programs. And you're
Yes.
right; they're mostly like development
Yes.
things,
Yes.
and
It's
it's
like
just
we're fully developed.
it turns out to be more work.
Yeah.
It's like
You're like, by the way, this is not the reason. Like, I am fully developed.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, they give us projects, and like I said,
Yeah.
it's
I
more work.
also think that even if someone isn't fully developed, the
Mhm.
other thing that I see is that there are people who get hired for potential. When it comes
Mm.
to Black women or Black people, we are hired based on perfection. Like, you have had to do
Ooh.
that job. You have had to show that you can do the job. You've had to already have done the job for 2 years before you get promoted in the job, right? Whereas with others, it's like, I think they're gonna be great at this. Like, it is just a very different perspective on when Black women or Black people in general are offered a leadership position than when others are offered a leadership position.
Man, you are shaking the tables. You're shaking the tables. I want to stay there, but pivot just
Yeah,
a little bit. So not only in your roles, but collaboration and relationship building, they are essential
yep,
to
yep,
what you do as a marketing person, and clearly what you do as a person.
yeah,
As you work across, you definitely work across multiple partner teams, stakeholder groups. You have access to the way that your organizations are even being
mhm.
presented to the outside world and to your employees. How do you navigate and advocate for diversity and inclusion in these collaborative efforts, especially in industries like the ones that you worked in, where diversity initiatives may face resistance and skepticism?
Yeah, yeah. I have never worked in particularly diverse industries or companies. I think the company that I am working now is the most diverse company I have ever worked at. And it is amazing. When I first started at this company and I would get on conference calls and I would see all of these other Black people, and I'm like, oh, like I don't think that I ever thought about how not seeing other people that looked like me on a regular basis, like how that affects your feeling of belonging at a company. So this company, I was like, man, I actually feel like I'm belonging, I'm valued here. And so for me, what I've always done is there are a couple ways that I advocate for diversity. One is I make sure that my org chart reflects diversity. I am very intentional about finding qualified, diverse candidates for my slates, for my open positions. I make sure that my slates are diverse. I make sure that my interviewers are diverse, right? Because that is one thing that I have control over is who I bring into the company. And so I make sure that my org chart is very reflective of diversity.
Okay.
And then the second part is I'm just unapologetic about my support for diversity and inclusion, right? Like I make no apologies for wanting to have a more diverse team or wanting to have a more diverse company. I don't feel bad about that. It doesn't matter what space I'm in. It doesn't matter if there's resistance. I am a Black woman. So if I'm not going to advocate for diversity, then who's going to do it?
Yeah. I love that. You are just surprising me. Like I knew you were awesome, but I didn't know you were this awesome. I mean, when you know somebody who's like,
it's different when you know
someone personally,
and we've known each other for 20 years, right? Like,
I am only 25 right now.
Okay, well, we've known each other since we were 5, you know.
Okay, you're right. Maybe. No, seriously, like I have loved these conversations because I'm learning so much about my friends. I'm like, you got a real job, girl. That is so nice. And I love that. I love that for you. That's awesome. And we are gonna go back. We're gonna go back a little bit now to your role. You are a CMO, a chief marketing officer, and a senior vice president. I want to put that out there. You didn't highlight that in your bio, but I'm gonna highlight it on this show. Senior vice president. You know, Whitley Gilbert. I feel like you might be Whitley Gilbert.
Oh, okay.
Later in the conversation, we're gonna get to who your fictional, who you see yourself as a fictional character. And I'm thinking, I think you might say Whitley Gilbert. Yeah. Okay. But let's talk. Speaking of CMOs, 52% of CMOs are women. That was a stat that I was like, oh, that's dope. That's awesome. And that is something that has been intentional in terms of like getting it over that mark because it wasn't that way until about 2020, actually. But with that 52%, only about 13% come from racially diverse backgrounds. As a Black woman CMO, what advice would you offer to other Black women aspiring to leadership roles in marketing where they are severely underrepresented?
Yeah. I think it starts with networking, like network to meet as many people as possible. I realized probably halfway through my career that I needed to treat networking as a part of my job. Right? Like I need to actually dedicate a percentage of my day to meeting people who I worked with, people who I didn't work with, just like anybody that I can. And for every person that I meet and have some sort of a networking meeting with, I ask them, like, who do you think that I should get to know next? Right. And that's how I continue to build my network. So I think that's a part of it. Thinking about local organizations or national organizations, joining those organizations so you can get to know other marketers, other people in your field. So you can also get to hone your craft or get better at your craft too, right? And then the last thing I think is you have to be a little bit patient because since it is such a small percentage, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. And you're going to see people moving into these leadership positions and you're going to say, like, how did that happen for them? Right? Like, how did they do it and not me? I've been there in that position and having that question. But I think what I did was I didn't focus on those people. I continued to focus on me and being the best in the roles that I was in so that I was prepared for the opportunity when it came. And so that's the advice that I would start is network your behind off and make sure that you are being the best that you can be in the position that you're currently in.
Love it. Listen, you're doing my job for me. I love it. No, I love it. I love when, the stuff that we talk about all the time, out here is like is getting to someone,
Yep.
and they, other people are using um, these same leadership qualities, and they're talking to folks the same way. Like, I love
Yeah.
to hear that, because you'll hear, oh, network, but then no one tells you how to do it.
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Yes.
And they think that means going on LinkedIn.
Right.
And
Right. Yeah.
so whenever I tell people to network from the inside out, they're like, what does that mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
who are you already connected to? And
Who
you
do you
touched
already
on it.
know?
And
Yeah.
just like you said, who are you already connected to? Okay, I've met you. Now, who else do I need to know?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
I mean, you and I doing this is a form of networking, right? Like, we're
absolutely.
going beyond just being friends to now talking about careers and professions. And so I think that's a form of networking too. Start with the people closest to you.
I do. And I'm just blessed to have amazing people like you close to me that I don't have to go too far. Like, I don't have to go too far. Listen, I sat that we were together last week, audience.
Yeah.
So I sat at that table. I was like, you want to be on the podcast? You want to be on the podcast?
We were all like, yep, we will do it.
Lisa didn't say yes.
I'm sure she'll be your next guest.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. You talked about it a little bit. Well, no, you've touched on it multiple times already about representation and visibility of Black women in leadership positions, and how that has contributed to your drive and determination. But can you just share a little bit more about how being able to see someone who looked like you, pushed you to greater levels of success in your career?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and it's funny because it's one I've never actually sat down and thought about that question. I'm not sure that the visibility, or in my case, the lack of visibility, contributed to my drive and determination. Right? You talked earlier about me being Jamaican. I feel like drive and determination is a part of what is ingrained in us in the 25 jobs that we're supposed to have as Jamaicans.
You do have 25 jobs. I'm just like, you're a mom,
Right?
your wife, you're a June cleaver.
Yep.
You go to paint and sips. I see.
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was already ingrained, right? I also never set out to become a CMO, right? Like I talked about, I just set out to become the best I could be at every single stage of my career, and that path kind of led me here. But now that I'm here and in this position, I want to be an example to other Black women, because I actually remember the first Black female leader I encountered in my career. And it was unfortunate because what I learned from that person is the type of leader that I don't want to be. Right. So it was that person, that experience didn't necessarily spur me in terms of my career, but it definitely was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to do that when I'm in a position. If I'm ever in that position, I am going to be completely opposite of this person.
Oh, okay. I hear that, it's a thing that we don't, we're not talking about a lot, but I hear that a lot. I've been fortunate to either not have Black women leaders, or to be adjacent to them, or, be the ones that they have kind of embraced me. But I do see it. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I have seen a lot of gatekeeping. I've seen a lot of sabotaging, and that's at even, like I said, like my same level. Like, because we come from this survival mindset, and from this scarcity mindset, where we're like, if she gets it, I can't get it. So I gotta, do everything I can to push this person out of the way. But I've also had great experiences where I have had someone who has sponsored me, who has said my name in the room, to the point that they were like, and I said this on the last episode with Julia, where they were like, I don't want to hear Kirsten's name one more time. Like, not again, not one more.
That's an awesome experience. And I hope that someday someone says that about me, because that's the type of leader I want to be. And I now that I'm in this position, I understand a little bit more about why that leader was the way she is, because this was 15, 16 years ago, right? Like, this was right when I was starting. And she was literally the only Black person in leadership at this company, right? And
Wow.
so I think in those times you kind of had to, it wasn't, she didn't sabotage my career. It wasn't that. It was more that she distanced herself from the other Black people in the company, right? And I understand why she did that. It takes a lot of courage to not do that when you're in those types of positions. So now I understand a little bit more about why she did it, but I'm still kind of like, that's why I'm so unapologetic and why I don't do that. At least I learned something good from her.
You did.
I
We
did.
say we say that, wins and lessons, wins
Yeah.
and lessons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So the last question before we get to the rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Looking towards the future,
Yeah.
what are your hopes and aspirations for the next generation of Black women entering the workforce? I think Morgan will be working in a few years, won't she?
Oh, she will.
Oh,
I can't believe it. Well, listen, as a mom of 2 daughters, I have so many hopes and aspirations for them. I just hope that she figures out what it is that she wants to do. That would be the first thing. But beyond that, I hope that when they get into the workforce, I hope that they feel seen. I hope they feel heard. I hope they feel valued. And I hope that they feel accepted. Like that is what I hope that they are walking into when they start to be in the workplace. That's it. And I think, I think part of the question was how we can work together. And I say this to everybody in that I talk to about leadership. I think we just have to go back to kindergarten and remember the golden rule, like just treat people like you want to be treated. If you do that, like no matter the person's race or gender or whatever, then it will be a safer and more equitable and more inclusive workplace. Like it is really that simple to be a good leader. Just treat people the way you want to be treated.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
You are so amazing. I love my June. All right, but let's get to the shenanigans.
All right, let's get to the rapid fire.
Yes, let's get to the shenanigans of it all. Who is a well-known or lesser-known historical or contemporary woman?
Yeah,
I'm saying woman, not specifically Black woman.
Okay,
but any woman who inspires you and we should learn more about.
Okay, so there is this Black woman. Her name is Buzima St. John.
Yes.
She was the former CMO of Netflix, the chief brand officer at Uber. She has done all of these things. She is a amazing person. From what I can see, I don't know her, but I would love to get to know her. What I love about her is she is intelligent. She is strong. She's unapologetic. She is fierce. Like she is everything that I want to be as a businesswoman.
Okay. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And I do think that for a lot of us, she's known.
Yeah.
But for a lot of us, she's not so well known.
Yeah.
So that was a great one. That was a great one.
And there's a lot more to know about her than, because I mean, she's been known more recently, but if you go back into her past, there's so much more to her. Right. I've been really interesting to find out more about her.
Okay. All right. Here's the question I've been waiting for.
Okay.
What's your favorite woman-led movie or TV show, and which character do you most identify with?
It's not Whitley Gilbert. It's so funny because I was talking to my husband about this yesterday. He's like, "Really?" So I'm gonna go with a Disney movie, right?
Really?
And there is this Disney movie called Brave, and
I know Brave.
Merida is the main character, and that is my favorite character because she was determined to make her own path in life. She pushed against these like established norms and what things were supposed to be. And that's me. I'm like, why do we have to do it this way? Like, why does that have to be the way things are? And so that's the character that I identify with. And that's actually, like, if I were to think about how I want my daughters to be, like, that's what I want them to be, to question things and to push against things that they just don't think are the right things for them.
Surprised again.
Right. But don't turn me into a bear, though. I don't want that.
Okay. Just the bear?
Just the bear.
Okay. Everything else is fine. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite empowering quote from a woman that resonates with you and influenced your perspective on women's history and achievements?
That I have that quote somewhere written down in my office because it is my favorite quote. It is by Alice Walker, and it's the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any.
Ooh.
And so I think as women, we like to kind of stay in the background, like try not to make a scene, just be quiet. And that's giving up our power, right? And for me, we need to be a little bit more assertive, aggressive, whatever you want to call it, and kind of take our power back.
I love it. I love it.
Yep.
If you could spend the day shadowing any woman in a different profession from your own, who would it be and what would you hope to learn?
So I would shadow Rihanna, right? Like the way that she has gone from this young girl singing to building this empire, right? But like an empire that is really focused on her customers, Black women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's done all this. She's become a mom. She seems to be really authentic and is really comfortable with who she is. And I would love to learn more about her and like how she manages all of that, how she's managed to do it. And she's so young. Like, how has she managed to do that? It's really admirable what she's been able to accomplish.
That's awesome. Like each person that's telling me who their person is, I'm like, I gotta think about who I would. Who do I want to?
Yeah, I want to know who your person is too. We're going to talk about that.
I don't know. I'll think about it another time. This ain't about me. This about you. You see how y'all try to haze me? Like you try to haze me. I'm interviewing you.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where was I? Oh, what's your go-to songs, or music genre when you want to hype yourself up for the day?
Hype myself up for the day. Well, my hype up playlist, because I do have one that I listen to every day before I get to work, goes from like 90s hip hop to trap music to dance hall to Afro beats. It's all over the place.
Okay.
My husband likes to call it fast and ignorant. That is that is his definition of what I listen to before I come to work every day.
Fast and
you
ignorant.
Are in your room like selling crack, and then you go to call at 9 o'clock, like, good morning, everyone. Like, it's just, hey, that's what hypes me up for the day.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Getting ready for the day, you're in the trap.
Yep.
And then
that's right.
As soon as you sit down,
back in the office.
Good morning, everyone. I need that on video. I need it on video. What's your guilty pleasure when it comes to indulging in women-centered pop culture, whether it's reality TV, books, the binge-worthy series we watch, movies, self-care, recreational activities, etc.?
I mean, it's the Real Housewives. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I watch every single episode of every single city, and I do not feel bad about it.
Okay.
Yep. I was just watching it this morning on the treadmill.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. It's new episodes out of the. I don't know.
Yes.
Those are the ones I don't watch.
Oh, I love those things. Those. It's literally the only reality thing that I watch is the Real Housewives.
Well, I have to get you watching 90 Day Fiancé the other way and all of the other.
Listen, I tried 90 Day Fiancé, but why is every episode like 2 hours long though?
No.
Why are they so long?
I don't watch 90 Day Fiancé, like OG one. I watch the spin-offs.
Oh, okay. All right. We're going to talk about that a little more.
Yeah, those are good.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So, this is a good one. What's the best career advice you received from another woman?
I think it is, do not stay in a job, a company, or in any situation where you don't feel valued. Yeah. That's the best advice I've ever received.
All right. Ooh, this is where I set you up. If you wrote a if you wrote a book describing your career so far, what would the title be? And it comes out third quarter 2025.
Oh, good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have to be Everything Happens for a Reason.
Okay.
Because I've had such a meandering path and one that I haven't planned or chosen. There have been times where it's like, well, this sucks. Why did this happen? Right? Or I didn't get this job and I didn't feel valued here. So now I have to leave and find something else. But when I look back, every single thing that happened for a reason. And it actually elevated me into a different and better place, even though I didn't plan it.
Awesome. Okay, we're almost at the end.
Okay.
How should individuals and communities actively participate in amplifying voices and visibility of Black women in the workplace during Women's History Month and beyond?
I think everybody just needs to find a Black woman and get to know them, right? Like we are so different and there's so much to get to know about us. And I think if you go into that experience with a desire to understand our experiences, understand our perspectives, then you can amplify our voices and give us a little bit more visibility. I think a lot of things is just people just don't get to know other people who aren't like them, right? Like you have really homogenous friend groups and really homogenous circles. And so you think that what you think and what you know is the truth. And so go get to know somebody else that doesn't look like you. Go get to know another Black woman or a Black woman.
A Black woman.
Yeah.
just
one. Start with one. Start with one. It's we only have 1 month. Black History Month. Go. Get it.
Come on now. Stop that. Okay. All right. Last question. What are you most looking forward to this year? Whether it's a personal goal, project, initiative, professional milestone, or an exciting opportunity?
I'm looking forward to the year in general. So Morgan will be graduating middle school and starting high school this year. Can you believe it? Can you
because
imagine that?
Because I recently saw that picture of us at your baby shower, standing in front of her crib with her name. You had her name over.
Like that was last week. How is she about to start high school? Yeah. So she's about to start high school. So that I'm looking forward to that in a good way and in a sad way. I'm looking forward to some short trips that we have planned, some long vacations with friends and with family. I'm looking forward to continuing to learn and grow my career. Like I'm just looking forward to the year and to making good memories this year. Already started last week with you and Lisa for her birthday. Like it's going to be a fantastic year.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to agree. We're going to touch and agree through the
That's right.
Through the laptop. Thank you so much. I never said your name, Patrice Boone.
Yeah, you're gonna have everybody thinking my name is June.
Oh, well, you have your name. So you have your name on there, but when I introduced you, I never said your name.
Oh my gosh!
I know you, so I
it's rolling on the bottom.
All right, but anyway, this is Patrice Boone, Chief Marketing Officer in the financial services sector. Make sure that you check out all the people that she mentioned here. Go meet a Black woman outside of Women's History Month, outside of Black History Month.
Yes.
Be good to yourself and then come back for another episode of Trap Chat, Women's History Month, Black women working from surviving to thriving. We got some more amazing guests. Maybe Lisa will decide to be on it. But thank you for watching. And thank you again, Patrice. Love you dearly.
Thank you for having me. Love you.
And we'll see you next time.